All right, people, who's ready to actually go to AI Summer Camp? AI Johnny, ready?
Ready.
This is so cool. This is week two of AI anime. AI Johnny was doing anime all week. Thanks everybody for joining on the live stream. We still have spots available.
Got it. Anime.
Go to www.airheadinstitute.ai to sign up for any of the weeks. It's only $100 per week. All right, here we go, campers. Enjoy.
Welcome to Season 13 and 14 of Airhead Institute. This is our 2-hour summer camp kicking off every day at noon Eastern. Right now, we are broadcasting the kickoff live across all the socials and Zoom, but at 12:45 p.m., we pivot. That's when we transition into an exclusive private lesson where our campers get hands-on experience actually building and creating with these AI tools. Plus, they'll be proving their new skills and earning official certifications by completing our certification exams. Here is what we are building over our epic 9-week summer lineup. Week 1, AI images for Roblox and Minecraft. Week 2, AI movies in Anime Studio. Week 3, AI music for TikTok sounds and Spotify hits. Week 4, AI games for classic arcade games. Week 5, AI ethics, hackers, deepfakes, and scams. Week 6, AI images for Disney and Marvel. Week 7, AI movies, Hollywood in your pocket. Week 8, AI music for hip-hop beats and gaming soundtracks. Week 9, AI games for phone and app store games. We're making AI practical, powerful, and fun for everyone. No tech background, no problem. Whether you're a kid ready to build awesome projects or an adult looking to audit a class and learn, just show up. Spots are still open. It's just $100 per week, or you can unlock the whole summer for $500. Secure your spot right now at www.airheadinstitute.ai. Guided by your hosts, AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're keeping it bold, brainy, and built for real-world impact. Let's stop scrolling and start creating. Welcome to camp.
Let's go. Welcome back to Season 13 of Airhead Institute. Today is Week 2, Episode 5, and I'm AI Johnny. So, when does the boundary between the creator and the creation just collapse? It happens when you stop directing the animation and start living it. We've mastered the machine, morphing static pixels into motion, weaponizing camera dynamics, and looking down temporal consistency. But today we break the rules. We aren't just generating scenes, we are inserting you directly into the anime. Next week we conquer music composition, but today is the ultimate reality crossover. Running the board is AI Junior. I caught him at 3 a.m. this morning, prompting himself into a super cyan. Without a reference image, the system rendered him as a glowing bald light bulb. Junior, AI Junior, show us the right way, will you?
You know, AI John, that Super Saiyan ability is actually what's really important. So the light bulb itself had incredible latent space energy, all right? So it was artistic. It's an artistic choice. Welcome back, everyone. Today, this is an immersive summer camp, and you may not understand everything we say here today, but stick with us daily and you'll be fluent in AI in no time. If you're on the streams, you're getting the first 45 minutes for free. But for our campers who are actually going, we're going to go off into a Zoom call, private Zoom call, to continue your private one-on-one lessons to learn. Also, if you're actually not signed up, we do have space available. Go to www.airheadinstitute.ai to sign up. Want to thank Jillian and Amy. I see you guys. Thank you for joining. Johnny, we've been building up this momentum the entire week. We've mastered the movement. We've mastered the camera. We've mastered the stability. Now we're bringing it all together for our Friday grand finale. So, AI Johnny, are you ready?
Am I ready for the grand finale of AI Movies Week? Come on, who wouldn't be?
Exactly. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump right into flow. If you guys are actually joining us for the first time, we've been doing this on per week. So we actually did from Monday all the way till Friday, setting up our environment to actually learn the concepts and actually go and build our final project itself, AI Johnny, and campers can get their certification. All right, so AI Johnny, are you you remember this from yesterday? So let's give a recap of what we did yesterday. So yesterday we actually have you, which was your birthday. Happy belated birthday again. We're having
Thank you.
you run itself on top of our rooftop. So let's just see what we did. That was you, AI Johnny. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take you again because you're so good at being the actor in our show. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it. We're gonna create we're gonna create an anime city. Is that okay, AI Johnny?
Anime City. Hey, I just noticed anime is like the first three syllables of animation. Is that a
Yeah.
coincidence?
You know what? I don't think it's a coincidence, AI Johnny. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to images here, and let me mute the thing because every time I hover, it actually makes a sound. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna actually create the image, and again, we get to take that image itself, and we're gonna just create a city. So AI Johnny, tell me any city you want. Where do you want to be? Any you could be any
I'm a,
futuristic city.
I'm partial to Cleveland.
Well, something recognizable that it will be so cool to actually film. Hey, Shauna, thanks for joining. Something so cool and recognizable that anybody can actually tell where it is.
Gotham, San Fran, New York.
We can't do Gotham, but we can do New York. So let's create a futuristic New York City skyline.
You're worried about stepping on the intellectual property of a city that doesn't exist, but you're not worried about stepping on the intellectual property of a city that exists.
Oh, of course, New York City is public domain. Anybody can actually create anything. But in the moment
Okay,
we
all
actually go
right.
into Gotham City, I think Warner Brothers is going to probably have a little hard time with us, with what they want.
I did
All right,
not know
so
that Warner Brothers owned Gotham. Hey, you live and learn.
yeah. I think Warner Bros. Also bought out by Paramount, so I don't know who actually bought them. I think there was some legal thing happening this year, but I don't know the details on that. So anyway, so yeah, Johnny, we actually have two futuristic New York kind of city. We see Empire State Building here. We have the new World Trade Center itself. So which one would you like to actually start with?
Um, Geez, that top one looks pretty awesome.
All right. So we actually have our background. So we actually have our background. We have our star character, which is you here, right? We actually have your star character. What else would you want to be? Do you want to actually, let's put, say, for example, some kind of weapon that you're interested in? Let's get a weapon. What kind of weapon would you like?
Well, as you know, I'm partial to the chainsaw. I like to
All
run
right.
around with a chainsaw. I did that yesterday in the woods.
You know what? There's a very popular chainsaw anime called Chainsaw Man. So anybody who actually watches anime would love that. So let's actually get a chainsaw. Any specific color, yeah, Johnny?
I'm a still fan, so orange.
All right.
Those stills, they start up on the first pull if you have the thing put in the right spot.
Okay. All right. So we have an orange. That's orange. And so anything special about that chainsaw? Yeah, Johnny. Chainsaw that's orange.
Yeah, we can make it an MS 170. It's light. I can run with it and while it's still running.
Okay, let's make it
I know a lot
light.
about chainsaws, friend.
All right. So we're going to do that as well. So what we're doing here is we're creating three different pieces of assets. So the first one we did is we created our character, right? So we actually did that yesterday. So we actually have AI Johnny over here. So we have our character. Because we have our character, we want to keep that character consistent throughout the entire movie. Now, we also want to be able to keep the city the same, right? So you want to have the character in the same background, the same thing. You don't want them to be jumping over different scenes or location because it may not be a cohesive storyline. And let's say, for example, our character itself who needs to have some kind of weapon that they use consistently. This you can see here, he's using a sword. And if he actually, this one, he's actually has a dagger. So again, you want it to keep consistent. So yeah, Johnny, we're gonna have the chainsaw coming back here. And we actually have two chainsaws. We have, looks like a hand one and a little bit bigger one. Which one would you rather?
That hand one, that won't do anything. You got to use the one with the chain on the right.
All right, here we go. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a video. So we're going to create an 8-second video, right? And we're going to take that video and we're going to say 8-second cinematic sequence starring the provided human portrait. I'm going to attach you in that picture. So I'm going to attach you. I'm going to also pick the city that you chose, right? And I'm also going to pick the chainsaw that you picked. Now, again, if you notice, we're mixing real world chainsaws with anime characters. So you don't have to actually stick only just to one type of style. It would actually figure it out. So yeah, Johnny, just so we can actually make it a little bit fun. So tell me what you want to do in the city of New York with your chainsaw, directing your own anime sequence.
I'd like it to say, can you do audio?
Of course.
I'd like it to say, what do I got to do to get through to you that there ain't nothing I can't take this chainsaw to?
All right, yeah, Johnny, that's not gonna get us in trouble, right?
It
That's not.
might.
Let's
It
actually pick.
might.
Let's pick something else. Let's pick something else. What should we actually do?
Uh, let's say if we're going to do some verbaling. Let's say I am here to protect the people of the 2029 New York City.
All right, I'm here to protect the people of 2029. That's rather futuristic. 29 in New York City. All right, and I'm gonna say make it exciting. All right, so I'm gonna put that in quotes. And the point is, I'm trying to show you guys is that you don't have to actually type a lot, right? We just give it a an asset, right? Let me get my pointer on so you guys can
Less
actually
is
see.
more. Less is more at the beginning.
If you want it to be genius, right? So we're gonna say so if we actually have AI Johnny here, we actually have our city and we actually have a chainsaw. So we have a cinematic anime sequence. I'm gonna say action cinematic anime sequence, but with the character saying, and that's what AI Johnny wants to say. I am here to protect the people of 2029 New York City. That's it. Nothing else. No, we
With
could
this
definitely
chainsaw, but that's fine.
say that again, AI Johnny.
With this chainsaw, you got to put in there that I'm here to protect you with the chainsaw.
Okay, all right.
The bad guys will know that I
All
mean
right.
business.
All right. So we actually are doing that. So we're going to send that over and we're going to make it vertical here. We can actually make it, we spoke about aspect ratios. If you missed that class, that was actually in last week's class. We talked about aspect ratios. So every single week, we're going to actually introduce new terminology, new things. So this is the video week. So we're borrowing on the actual things we learned from last week to just keep on building on that momentum. But again, you don't have to be here for every single week to understand what's going on. Next week, we're actually going to be talking about music. So while this is actually coming back, yeah, Johnny, are you excited about your
You know what?
anime sequence?
I'll tell you what's opening up for me, AI Junior. It's the radical difference in the conversations that occur on a movie set from say 10 years ago to now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're making movies, but we're not saying like lights, camera. We're not saying quiet on the set. We're saying things like, what color would you like the chainsaw to be? What would you like the verbiage to be? We're literally creating this thing on the fly. It's a completely different conversation.
Exactly. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. And I see actually Adrian, I see Shauna in the chat. Thank you guys for joining. All right, so AI Johnny. So we have two videos that came back, and Derek, I actually see you as well. And Shauna said Chainsaw Man is a bit graphic, but a good anime if you like dark fantasy anime. Yes, Shauna's Chainsaw Man is pretty good. And Shauna's like, love the rhythm. Too far out. New York City needs saving now. AI Johnny, love it. All right, so let's check this out. Johnny, let's
I
actually
am
bring
here
this
to
up.
protect the people of 2029 New York City with this chainsaw.
AI Johnny, that was incredible. It said your line. It's actually had it. Let's watch it again.
I am here to protect the people of 2029 New York City with this chainsaw.
All right, so the part that's actually rather impressive, I want to point out, is we did bring in a realistic chainsaw. It kept the chainsaw consistent. It actually has the character that we actually have, which is AI Johnny. I see lots of actual reactions in the actual group. Thank you for that, Shauna. And we also have the New York City background. So if you notice, remember, or New York City itself had the Statue of Liberty that was actually like a glowing color, and you actually saw it in. Let me see where I saw it. I saw it. There it is. Right. Let's check out the other video, AI Johnny.
I am here to protect people of 2029 New York City with this chainsaw.
All right. He did have a little verbal slippage there, which is normal. You know, you're gonna have these artifacts come in. But AI Johnny, what do you think?
I'm more impressed today than I am with yesterday because we used all these different ingredients and it put it all together and it does look like me and the chain. So my first question is, do you think we're going to be in trouble with the still people, or do you think the still people are going to call us up and ask us to join their marketing department? Because as soon as I saw that, the first thing I remembered is the old Energizer Bunny commercials. Sorry, I'm going to do a little sidebar here. If you did a commercial that just looked like any old commercial, it was like a soap commercial, and then you had a cartoon still chainsaw come through and cut it in half, and it surprised everybody, like you used to have the Energizer bunnies running across the screen, interrupting commercials. You could do that with still now, and we can make those things, and we don't even need a video studio.
Exactly, exactly. And guess what? The liability on having an AI chainsaw on set will never hurt anybody. Versus if you bring a real chainsaw to the actual set, you might get insurance liability and premiums might be skyrocketing. But yeah, this is amazing.
Very good point. That's a very
Yep,
good point.
yep. All right, AI Johnny, let's actually get to the word of the day.
Here we go. The word of the day. It's time for the word of the day. Multi-reference directing. Multi-reference directing. What does it mean? It is combining multiple reference names and a personal photo to direct an action shot starring yourself, restricted to an 8-second limit. Think of it like being a Hollywood movie director. You're handing your actor their costume, showing them the picture of the green screen background, and handing them the script all at the same time. Said
Ex-
another way, movies are
yep.
made completely different today than they were just 5 years ago.
Exactly. So that's the perfect breakdown, yeah, Johnny. So when we use multi-reference directing, we're actually giving the TTV, that's a text-to-video engine, strict visual boundaries. So instead of letting it hallucinate the background or guess what the actual weapon they're using or what does the character look like, we're all locking it down. And each of the keyframes, we spoke about that yesterday, each of the keyframes itself will be our own uploaded images. So you can actually ground many. Now, these models are actually getting crazy. And I want to give you guys a sneak peek of the next version of what's actually coming out. So we're actually seeing what's known as world models coming out. So traditional LLMs that we actually see may actually be just version 1.0. So we're going to actually have these things called world models, which understands physics, understand consistency, understand movements. So those are the cool things that's actually coming out. So we're paying attention to world models, seeing what's actually happening on the horizon, and eventually we'll bring those teachings here at the Airhead Institute when things are actually out of just research and prototyping. So yeah, Johnny, and these things are crazy. You can reference sometimes up to 18 images in these models.
And they're always perfect. There's no mistake. I mean, well, no, they're not. They make mistakes. They hallucinate. But they don't have the kind of mistakes that humans make. Before we get into the live lesson, I was in a movie years ago, actually a TV show called Prison Break. Have you ever seen it?
Prison Break is one of my
I was a
popular
guard.
shows. You were a
Yep, I
guard.
was a guard
Interesting.
in that show. And there was one scene where I'm the guard and I'm walking outside the fence. There was a couple of people, the prisoners were inside the fence, and I was walking outside the fence. And there was a fight starts, and I see the fight starting, so I got to run to the gate and cut around to try to break up the fight. Well, they yelled cut so many times, like because the fight wasn't going right, so I had to stop and then go back to my mark, and then they would say action, and I'd run it again. And it happened many times, and so eventually I just stopped when they say cut, and I would walk backwards to my mark. And one time I didn't walk backwards fast enough, and so they yelled action while I was still in frame, walking back, walking backwards, and that frame made the show. So we
Wow.
watched the show. The fight breaks out, and there's this guard walking backwards behind the fence.
Wow, interesting,
Do
Johnny.
that stuff with the new way of movie making.
Do you know what episode that is? What season? What episode? Because we'd love to definitely point to that.
I'm gonna have to look it up, man. It's been so many years.
I can imagine. Well, you
I
know
know it
what?
did happen because I saw it and I was like, I can't believe they didn't cut that out.
You
They
know
should have
what?
cut it out and went with a different one.
You know what, AI Johnny, Prison Break. I was actually talking about it just the other day. Jillian, I see you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so AI Johnny, let's actually get to the live lesson. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna build a brand new scene from scratch, right? We actually had different characters already used from yesterday's episode. Want to be able to start over from scratch. So let's actually pull everything together that we actually just learned. Now, before we actually do that, I want us to maybe just take a second to understand what's really happening. So I'm going to share my screen for a second. And if we actually understand what's happening is these reference images itself are not just layers put on top of each other. We actually spoke about in the image process how diffusion models work from last week. We actually spoke about how it actually blends in the actual things and not just paste everything together. So what's happening is you take a selfie, right? Whether it's a picture of yourself, whether it's somebody took a picture of you, maybe it's a still frame from a video. It doesn't really matter what it is, as long as you actually have something important that you care to bring inside that video. Make sure it's as high res as possible. So let's say, for example, you bring in a portrait of yourself. Then let's say, for example, you want to bring in something like a background reference. You saw that with the New York City, and you want to bring in, say, for example, a visual style that you're actually really, really, really interested in. When you actually import all these things, you're grounding the AI in these certain things that you want. Then once you do that, you actually when you hit generate movie, it's actually bringing them in and at inference time, figuring out what that blended version is. So in this scenario, just a simple example, we have the background flashing, we have our character, and we actually have the background aurora, right? But if I say, for example, I said, I don't want the actual, I only want just a selfie and I only want the background, you'll see here, it actually generates and you see the background and you see the person, but you don't see the actual video effects. So the point is, it will respect, right, the things that you say you want. I only just want this with no background, or I don't want the person. It will figure out what it is you need in each scene. Now, if you do say in prompt that you want a person there, they're going to make up a person. So make sure if you're going to reference something in your prompt, you point to the actual thing that you're adding. So if you say, hey, a New York City scene, you don't want to not put in what the New York City scene looks like. If you're just going to say your New York City scene, it's going to make up what New York City looks like. Does that make sense, AI Johnny?
It does. Are you able to hear me?
Yes. All right. So let's actually go over back to flow. So AI Johnny, what we're going to do is we are going to actually start from scratch and put everything together. So we're going to first get a reference image. So the reference image that we want to do is we're going to use AI Johnny again, right? AI Johnny, is there any specific color shirt or color thing that you actually want to be wearing?
I would like a green shirt to match my green lightsaber.
All right. All right. So let's do this. So we're going to go ahead and take AI Johnny. I'm going to say an anime version of with a green shirt with a lightsaber. All right. So we actually have that. We're going to go ahead and generate that. And just so you guys know, we're gonna be doing this all in a Tally Lab in in the private Zoom room. So don't worry about that if you don't not following along. But we're gonna go ahead and attach that. And once we do that, we're gonna get a green lightsaber. We're gonna get AI Johnny itself. We have attached his picture. And what we're doing is we're getting a reference image so we can keep it consistent across our whole entire film. So while it's actually coming back, it should come back in about 10 seconds or so. Images usually take about 30 seconds to maybe about 45 seconds. All right. So, all right, this one's coming back. So there we have an anime version of AI Johnny with a green shirt to match his green lightsaber. Now, the one on the right is actually taking a little bit longer, so we're going to use the one on the left. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to actually take a different version. So we're going to say a fast-paced 8-second anime scene. Oh, this one came back with a little bit farther back. All right. Now, AI Johnny, is there any specific place you want to be? On a beach, in a city. Tell me where you want to be this time.
I think the beachfront that they had in Blue Shirt Guy was kind of cool. He had a lightsaber there as well. Can you hear me okay? Because I think I'm having
I can
camera
hear you. I can hear
glitches.
you. I can hear you perfectly fine, yeah, Johnny. So you want to be
Okay.
on a beach? All right. So let's do a
Yep.
beach. Any specific type of let's do a background with a beach and a and white sand, and we're gonna do anime style. All right. So what we're doing is we're gonna do that in horizontal aspect ratio. And what we're doing is we're generating our assets for our video. And the reason why I want to do this is because we're going to create two videos and we're going to stitch them together. So the first one is we're going to show the getting a little bit of feedback. We're going to get the character first in the first scene to introduce, and we're going to end it with the actual fight scene. So we're going to make two actual videos here. So we actually have two two images here. Yeah, Johnny, which one do you prefer?
Boy, they look identical, don't they?
Hey,
I guess
you
the
know
one
what?
with the ship closer,
All right, so
so
let's use this one.
I can get away on the ship.
All right, and we're gonna create your villain. What does your villain? What should your villain look like? Or give me a description of your villain.
Um, like a hobo.
Okay, a hobo anime.
Is it okay to say hobo? Is there a
You,
politically
you,
correct
you,
term?
I think a hobo is probably okay. Um, okay, anime um antagonist. What kind of weapon would you like them to have?
The hobo? He can have
Yeah.
a lightsaber too.
All right. Any specific color?
White. Uh, yeah, I want to get. I want it to be a fair fight.
All right. So with a white lightsaber. And what we're doing here is we're showing you guys that you can create your assets just like that. You invent your characters. So with white lightsaber anime style. All right. So we're going to generate two of those images. So what we're doing is we're showing you guys how to generate your own consistent characters, background scenes, and even an antagonist itself to actually be the bad guy in your actual short film. No worries, Ahead John. You're perfectly good. All right, so what we're going to do is we actually have that here. So we actually have a really really cool with a lightsaber. So that's our bad guy. So yeah, Johnny, let's set the scene. We're going to build two different scenes. We're going to one introduce first the good guy and the bad guy. We're going to mash them up in a really classic anime style fight sequence. And then that's our first one. And our second scene we're going to actually do is we're going to have them fighting. And that's it, right? End scene. So the first thing
All
is
in 8 seconds. All in
no,
eight
we're gonna
seconds.
no, we're gonna do two. The point is we're
Okay,
trying
so
to
you're
show is
stitching together. I got you. I got you.
yep. So we're trying to show that we can actually keep both scenes and actual, the background may not make sense with a hobo on the beach. So let's actually change this. Let's make it a little bit it's a little silly, but it might work. So yeah, Johnny, let's actually change it to a city. Is that okay?
Yeah, back alley maybe. It looks like we're standing in back alleys anyway.
All right. So we're gonna do
Maybe Chinatown. A lot of hobos fighting with lightsabers in Chinatown.
yeah. So we're gonna do back alley anime style. All right. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna pick a city. All right, so we're regenerating the thing because realistically, the beach may not make sense with where we're going. And the reason why we're doing this live is because we want to show you from start to end. You can actually do all of this on your own in under 10 minutes or so, right? So if you have a story in your head that you want to be able to tell in a most amazing way, you can actually just do these things on your own. So yeah, Johnny, we actually have two alleys. We have the top one and the bottom one. Which one do you prefer?
Well, the bottom one only has one person, but it also has a cat. So I think we'll go with the bottom one and see how they introduce the hobo.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. What we're gonna do is we're gonna now build two scenes. So the first one is that classic introduce the characters in a head-to-head kind of like a split screen. So we're gonna say we're gonna take this, right? We're going to take our character. So which one do you want, AI Johnny? The left or the right?
Which hobo? The left,
Yeah,
of course.
the left. Okay, all right. So we're
The
adding
guy on the
that.
right technically isn't a hobo. He doesn't have this.
Interesting.
He doesn't have the stick with the little bag.
Oh, interesting. All right, all right, all right. I love it. And then which one of the characters you want, left or right?
Man, they're both so good looking. I can't choose. You choose.
All right, I'm gonna pick the one on the left. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna say classic anime intro to introduce a fight scene between the two characters in the alley. All right, we're just gonna say that, right? Just classic cinema, classic. No, we can actually see it, make it with trash talking for each character. All right, yeah, Johnny, ready for that?
How many ingredients are attached? So I noticed that the ingredient of AI Johnny has the week one creative art backdrop. That's not going to bleed into the anime, is it?
You know what? It's gonna figure it out. We'll see what it does. It should be able to
Okay.
separate the two, but you never know. It might hallucinate. So we're gonna say classic anime intro to introduce the fight scene between two characters. There is no fighting, only just the classic intro of a head-to-head battle about to start. And it's gonna figure it out, right? Not saying anything. No, what we're gonna do is the second scene is we're gonna now create the exact same thing, and we're gonna actually continue that scene, and we're just gonna say there's gonna be an epic, lightsaber battle. Is that okay, Johnny? Lightsaber battle where
Are
go
you
ahead.
going to be taking the last frame as a start frame, or are you just going
No,
to
nope,
describe it in English?
nope. Just gonna describe two separate scenes and just put them together. So what do you want to see?
In the next scene, I'd almost like to watch the first scene before I think of the next scene. But so what did we do? We bounce swords for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then I guess I would like to see um, um, the hobo run away, and maybe the cat jumps onto my arms from the window.
Okay. All right, let's try that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say we're gonna have interesting. Hold on. There's actually a little issue here. Let me see. Fight scene between the characters. Sometimes these things are a little bit finicky, and they think that fighting is actually a bad thing or whatever. So they have these levels of checks inside. So I'm gonna remove just the trash talking and see what actually happens. So sometimes you have to tweak your prompts a little bit to be able to say, hey, I want to be able to generate these. And so it's actually queuing my request, and we're gonna see what happens when it comes back here.
Yeah, and
So
sometimes you have to generate the video in order to free up your prompt window to type the second prompt,
yes, that
right?
is correct. That is correct.
So the second prompt, the hobo runs away.
Yeah, hold on, yeah, Johnny. I didn't actually
The
get
cat jumps in my arms.
Yeah, hold on. I didn't get the actual first one yet. So I want to kick off the first one. Once I kick off the first one, and while we're actually doing that, does anybody have any questions at the same time? All right, my dear. See you are actually asking a question. We can actually
I have a
answer that
question here from
offline.
Roblox. A Roblox user wants to
Sure.
know if we're restricted to 8 second limit and what happens if he wants to make a whole movie. And I think that's kind of what we're demonstrating here, right?
Exactly. Exactly. All right. This morning Facebook itself was down for maybe like about 2 hours or so, depending on, if you actually had access to, depending on where you were actually trying to get the thing. So, it's interesting how they're actually giving a little issue. So yeah, Johnny, let's actually do it a little bit different. So classic anime intro. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the hobo, right? Don't know why. Just let me try. And the reason why I'm going to try it with another character here. I'm going to do it with with you over here. I'm going to use you as the other character. So let's try that. Okay.
If it
Sometimes,
doesn't work, brother, it's not necessarily the prompt. It's Flow on occasion just gets so bombarded that it just tells everybody I can't generate it, even though it could generate it. So
yeah,
sometimes it's time of day. I think it's pretty rarely is it the prompt.
yeah. So guess what, guys?
Sometimes
So guess what, guys? It was the actual hobo. So here's what I would say. So I actually swapped out the hobo, kept the actual prompt the exact same, and by actually putting the hobo in, it actually did filter us. All right. So while it's actually going, sometimes that
Oh, because we
happens.
use the word hobo.
Probably.
Probably politically incorrect.
Probably. All right, so let's check this out, yeah, Johnny. We're gonna actually use another scene now. We're gonna actually have the real fight now. So fight between two characters with lightsabers. And you said something about a cat, right?
Well, that's the second scene.
Yep. So what was it? And the red
Cat jumps
character
into the victor's arms and asks the victor, "Why did you let him get away?"
jumps into the character's arms and asks, "Why did you let him get away?" All
You
right.
could,
So
just to be redundant, you could say the talking cat.
yeah, that's good. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna see the actual first scene. So AI Johnny, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so let's actually see it. Now, if you know classic anime, this is classic 101. Two people about to battle to actually fight in a anime style. Let's look at the second one. That is so cool. So yeah, Johnny, which do you prefer, scene one or scene two?
Scene two is fine.
All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take scene two, and we are going to see. You know what? So this came out now, and let's see which one we have. So we have two. Let's see what they both look like.
Why did you let him get away?
Perfect.
No, that
Perfect.
is
It's
pretty
that is scene two.
that is pretty cool. So that was super awesome. Let's check out the other one, yeah, Johnny. Oh, it didn't. It actually hallucinated this time, which is good.
Why did you let him?
No,
Yeah,
that's
let's go with the first one. Look, it says
definitely.
amen. Hey, look in the upper left. Oh,
Oh,
no, go back to the beginning.
it was
said
ramen.
amen. No, but it
It,
said amen before you zoomed out. Shout
yeah,
out to Thursday night.
yeah, yeah, absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Amen. I love it, yeah, Johnny. All right, so let's actually see what we can do. So there's a little plus button here that you can actually attach scenes, right? Now we're not going to show that here, but if you just see, you can actually take the scene, you download it, you stitch them together, and you have one complete movie. So AI Johnny, with that being said, let's actually get into the news.
Okay. The news, fun news you can use. Let's see. Let's get right into it. Wait a minute. How come my ethical thought? The news is before the ethics. Good. First up today, SpaceX IPO. Of course, that's the #1 news story. In a massive financial news, SpaceX has officially hit the public market today, pricing their IPO at $1.35 a share, which is what my wife was trying to buy it at. This makes it one of the largest and most highly anticipated tech market debuts in history. Didn't you say it's already up to 161?
Yeah, it's up to 168 right now.
Okay, that's huge. Let's see. Canva is in the news. VO3 arrives in Canva, which is how we can stitch those two videos together. Canva just integrated Google's latest VO3 model directly into their platform. Creators can now generate cinematic 8-second video clips with perfectly synced audio using simple text prompts right inside the design dashboard. Maybe we could do that in the Tally Lab.
Yep.
So that's clean. And I think those are the only two stories we have today.
Yep. So AI Johnny, let's actually get to the ethical thought.
Let's look closely at the Airhead code. An Airhead is responsible. Because we can upload photos and we can animate them, it is incredibly easy to take a picture of a classmate or a teacher and make them do something embarrassing. Never use these tools to manipulate real photos of people without their explicit permission. We use our skills to build awesome art, not to bully or deceive or lie to our community.
Exactly.
That's the
All right.
thought.
Big facts, yeah, Johnny. All right. So we have to actually always protect the digital space. So for my younger campers out there, ages 10 to 13, here are 2 fun ways that you can actually use today's lesson. So first, make an epic glowing GIF of yourself and use that as your Discord profile picture. So you're actually pulling in things. You can actually pull a background image, certain type of thing that your weapon you're using. So you can actually do all of that. Second, you can animate your pets into a crazy superhero movie to show your entire family. Yeah, Johnny, what about older teens?
14 to 18, let's take it to the next level. First, use this technique to generate a high-end 8-second cinematic intro sequence for your own YouTube channel. And second, if you're designing an indie game, put yourself in the actual trailer as the main character to pitch it online. Both great ideas, both well within reach based on what we saw today.
Exactly.
Bro, my mind is completely buzzing. I'm literally going to go cook with this.
Bro, my mind is...
No cap. I'm making a video of myself fighting a cyber dragon in space or something better. Listen up, crew. We did it. We conquered week 2 and we mastered AI movies. By the summer is just getting started. Next week is week 3 and we're diving into AI music composition. We're going to be generating TikTok sounds and Spotify hits completely from scratch. It's going to be pretty insane. Junior, what say you?
You know, before we actually cut the feed, just a quick reminder. So summer camp is only $100 per week or $500 for the entire summer. So tell your parents. If you actually have a friend who loves music or gaming, invite a friend to camp. Share this with someone who would actually love it. And remember, private hands-on lab itself starts right now until 2 p.m. Plus, it actually includes certification. All right, guys, we're actually going to cut the feed now. AI Johnny, see you actually on the other side.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
That wraps up today's AI Power Up. If you joined late or you're new here, welcome to Airhead Institute. This is your daily destination for mastering artificial intelligence. We designed this lineup for everyone, whether you're a technical pro looking to upskill or you just want to chill and learn something new on your lunch break, we've got you covered. Our classes evolve every single month, so you're always on the cutting edge. And the best part? It's totally free to join. Once you're in, you can get live tips on your AI projects in our AI office hours and even enroll your kids in our Airhead After School program. Scan the QR code to join the community right now and make sure to like and subscribe at Airhead Institute on all socials. Guided by your hosts AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're here to help you win. Remember, AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind. We'll see you next class. Bring a friend.